Good evening. Let me turn my other light on because there's a little dark patch there. Looks a bit weird. Hello. How are we doing? It's game week 22, deadline time. Things look a bit dark, don't they? Let me turn the lights up a little bit. I don't want to be like have a super shiny forehead though. That'll do. I've got a super shiny forehead, but that'll do. Welcome to... what are we doing? There's a deadline. There's a deadline in an hour and a half. It's a double game week. I'm probably going to make one transfer. And it could be Patterson to Mings, which I'm already asleep just telling you that. But I think right now that is my favourite move. I think I'm going to keep Ake. I think. I can't get Gnonto in one move. I could do Ward to Melier or Kepa. Ward to Kepa. I think Ward to Kepa and Patterson to Mings are my two moves. Are you ill? No, but thank you for, I guess, taking one look at me and thinking I'm ill. Saka or Nketiah? I think Saka is better. Like, Nketiah is great, but I think Saka is better. Yeah, personally. Just check something a second. Bench one of Martinelli or Odegaard. Oh, you can't bench one of that. If you've got a bench one, it's probably got to be Martinelli, but I don't know if I would bench either. Why isn't your captain white? I've already used my triple captain, so it's just a very boring normal captain for me. I'm just captaining Rashford. I used my triple captain in game week 20. So I can't use it tonight. Use it today. This week. Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Mitrovic or Castagna. Bearing in mind I have Kepa goalkeeper. I mean, Ward's got Villa or... Castagna's got Villa. I'll go for Mitrovic easy, I think. Almiron to Odegaard for -4 since Almiron will go down and Odegaard up in price. 0.2 or maybe money doesn't matter. I don't know. I'd be tempted to do it, to be honest. I think Odegaard's a better option. Unsubscribe. How is it going? Long time no see. But who would you bench? Seems impossible. Nketiah, Saka, Odegaard, Mahrez. Like, I get why that seems impossible because Mahrez has just scored ridiculous points against Spurs, but on paper, surely all the Arsenal players are better this week. Like, of course, nobody wants to bench Mahrez this week, but you've got a hard dilemma. So, Reece James worth a punt, looking to sell Azpilicueta or Walker. Possibly, we might get early Chelsea team news. I think even if Reece James starts, he doesn't get 90 minutes. And if he does get 90 minutes, I think it's a problem for Chelsea. There can't be any way they're going to rush him back again, surely. So I don't think I would... I mean, I might go... I think it's a nice punt, yeah. But we don't know for sure if he's going to start. I'd say it's more likely that he doesn't start. I'd really want early team news, to be honest, before I brought James in. I think he could be one for 23 or 24. Bench one of Martial, Kane, or De Bruyne. See, I think I would bench De Bruyne out of those, but I saw Late Riser tweeting that Martial hasn't been spotted in any training photos, which would be interesting. I guess if he's not in training, it's a bit annoying because he still might start the second game. I think I would probably bench De Bruyne out of those. What a weird week where we're looking to bench De Bruyne, by the way. Martial to Gnonto free transfer. Probably. Martial to Gnonto. I'm not sure I would do that, no, to be honest. Play Mitrovic or Mount. Probably, I guess Mount because he's at home. Should we be thinking about players blanking in 28 when making transfers, or is that too far ahead? You can think about it, but it shouldn't be the only thing that rules your transfers. Like, there's no. I know people always say you shouldn't think that far ahead. There's points to be gotten now, but like for my team, for example, I may do Patterson to Mings, and that is basically for game week 25 and 28. And you can say that's planning too far ahead, but who else do I even change? Because outside of that, it's just moves like Ward to Kepa, Martinelli to Odegaard, White to Gabriel. They're all just quite sideways. I mean, they might work out. That I might end up regretting not doing White to Gabriel or Martinelli to Odegaard, but I think it's okay. But for people that like don't have Man United players or don't have triple Arsenal, they shouldn't be worried about what's happening in game week 28. Really. Is Mudryk worth a punt? I wonder if I'm going to check the Fantasy Football Scout predicted lineup to see if Mudryk is part of that. He is, yeah. The thing is, even if he starts today, how many games is he going to start going forward? Maybe he'll keep starting. Maybe he'll keep other players out of the team. I guess with Sterling being a bit of competition, he's only just back into the squad. He's been injured. And obviously, João Felix is still suspended. So I think Mudryk's fine for this week. I think there is a chance that he will start. But is he going to keep starting? I mean, he's quite exciting, isn't he? But they've got so many options. That's all I can say, really. That's all I can say. I don't know long-term how good he is. Havertz a keep or sell for Bamford. Own 3 Man United. I mean, Havertz will probably start today, I would assume. Because João Felix is out. Like suspended. Bamford's okay, but you do it with knowing the risk that he's not played much football this year. Like, he's been out for a while. He's only played more than 60 minutes in the league once since game week 12. Like, since game week 12, that was the last time it happened. So I don't mind Havertz to Bamford because I don't know if Havertz is that great of a long-term pick either. But in general, I wouldn't be going out of my way to get Bamford, I don't think. But I guess if you're going to buy him, this is the week to do it, right? Would you do Kane to Gnonto and Almiron to Bruno for a hit? In isolation, yeah, probably. Without knowing everything else about the team. Would you switch Wilson to Nketiah if it loses you 2 free transfers next week? Nketiah is great, so unless you're going to want a different Arsenal player, I don't see anything wrong with that, to be honest. I mean, Newcastle got West Ham at home, so it's not like Wilson is bad. You don't have to do the Nketiah move this week, but for the next few weeks, Nketiah is probably better, yeah. Raptor says Havertz might be on penalties with Jorginho gone. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's got a better record than Mason Mount. So, yeah, absolutely could be. I have Stone. Should I sell for what would be a -8? Has already done Salah to Fernandes for -4 and also still have Reece James. If you've got Reece James, I'd honestly hold on to him. I really would. Like, of course, if he can enable like a really good move for a Man City, Arsenal, Man United player, that's a bit different. But if you've held on to him this long, as I said on the Final Thoughts video earlier, Chelsea's fixtures are pretty good and they don't blank in 25 or 28. And I know how frustrating Reece James can be, but I'd honestly just keep him. But yeah, Stones out. You could take Stones out for a hit for sure because he's not going to be available for 3 to 4 weeks. So if you need a starting player, I would do it, yeah. Fernandes, Gnonto for Mount and Mitrovic. Potentially sounds okay, yeah. I think Mitrovic is one of those players where it's in some situations it's probably okay to sell him this week. For me, I'm definitely keeping him, but again, I'm pretty I cannot tell you the headache I've had this week from trying to figure out my transfers. It's actually disgusting how much time I've thought about them. And really, basically, I've got a headache because on paper my team is just too good. Like it's too well set up for this particular week and next week because I've got triple Arsenal, City and Man United, and that is giving me more of a headache than it freaking should. Obviously, if Martinelli doesn't start, or White doesn't start a game, or Ake doesn't play and Mahrez smashes it, then you certainly wouldn't say it's perfect, but on paper it looks pretty good. It's doing me head in. It's doing my head in. I mean, imagine having 2 weeks off from FPL, you get back to a double game week, and your move is Patterson to Mings. I mean, that is about as boring as it's ever going to get. Could Everton double in game week 26? I did listen to the Planet FPL podcast and I have read Ben's tweets, but I can't remember about Everton. I think haven't Everton only got one fixture? Hang on. Everton have only got one fixture to rearrange, which is Arsenal away. And from what I remember, there's not much chance of it going in 25 or 26. It's probably more likely to go in 29, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, I think Arsenal Everton can go into 25, but I don't think James or Ben think it's that likely. So it could happen, but even so, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I do Patterson to Mings and Patterson gets a double in 25 and he's fit and plays both games, that might be a little frustrating. But I don't think I can worry about such things. Like if I'm not comfortable getting rid of Patterson, who's literally injured, what else do I do with this team? Honestly, I mean, maybe it is just Martinelli to Odegaard or White to Gabriel or Ward to Kepa. Maybe that is my move. The only thing putting me off Ward to Kepa is, Ward to Kepa is, it's just a lot of money on goalkeepers. I think I would rather try and get Edison to Kepa later on. Love a Friday deadline, but shame I'm rolling my free transfer. I don't like Friday deadlines. I guess in some ways it's good just to get it done though. It's a weird one for content-wise at least. I like Saturday deadlines because final thoughts can be done after press conferences, which is good. I think it makes it much better. But from a live perspective, I like not having to get up and stream on a Saturday. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. Start a Kanji or Almiron. Almiron. Let's talk dinner party. Mains. Meatball, black bean, chili, or a whole... definitely the meatballs. Fish, like I don't mind fish, but I mean, compared to some meatball, black bean, chili, I'm definitely going for the first one, for sure. I would honestly do White to Gabriel for security and the best Arsenal defender. It is tempting, yeah. It feels wrong. It just feels wrong. I will be gutted when Gabriel finally scores again. The thing is, if I only do one move this week and I don't get any injuries, I don't actually have a move next week either. So I could just do. The only thing is, I've only got 0.7 in the bank. So whatever move I do stops me from doing any other move that I'm thinking about this week. So if I do Patterson to Mings, I can't afford White to Gabriel. And obviously, if I do White to Gabriel this week, I can't afford Patterson to Mings next week. Really, Fernandes is holding my money. Which is why, in some ways, it would be good to sell him sooner rather than later because it's going to give me more options. But I mean, I could sell Luke Shaw next week potentially. So I could do White to Gabriel and then Luke Shaw to Mings, and then just get rid of Patterson when I sell Fernandes. But that's what I'm looking at. It's just boring stuff. I don't know why I keep talking about my team. It's so boring. 2 free transfers, Salah to Bruno and Almiron Andreas to Saka. If I remove Andreas, I'll be able to do Bruno to De Bruyne in 23. Could get Odegaard instead of Saka. Thoughts? Yeah, Odegaard instead of Saka is fine. You could also just do Bruno to Mahrez if you wanted to. So I would hang on. If I remove Andreas, I'll be able to do Bruno to De Bruyne. I'm confused. Surely it's better to remove Almiron. It's more money, right? Like, Andreas is going to play in 25. He's a good bench option. I think you sell Almiron. Unless I've read that wrong. Would you do Almiron to Saka next week or Almiron and Weghorst to Martinelli and Nketiah -4? I know I'm early with this question, but potential price rises are why. I would focus on getting triple Arsenal. So if Martinelli and Nketiah is the way, that's probably what I would do. I guess it's better if you can afford Odegaard instead of Martinelli, but yeah, whichever one. Either way, getting triple Arsenal is good. Have to start 2 of either De Bruyne, Matoma, and Gnonto. It's got to be Gnonto and Matoma with a double in Bournemouth, right? Yeah, but I still think it's crazy that we're talking about benching De Bruyne. But yeah, it's fine. Like, lots of people are selling him this week. I got to be honest. This is a week where I'm not particularly worried about what De Bruyne might do. Wouldn't it be amazing if Salah, I don't know, got an assist? That's the level we're at with Salah now. If he gets an assist, that would be nice. Just don't blank again, for God's sake. Do Ake to Estepinian this week and Anthony to... I thought you were like... I don't know why, but I thought you were giving me advice for my team. Hang on, I'll come back to the... Hang on. Do Ake to Estepinian this week and Anthony to Saka next game week. Sounds okay. Or hold Ake and do Anthony to Odegaard next week. That means I'll probably burn a transfer this week. The thing is, you're getting rid of a Man City player and not replacing a Man City player. So, I know Ake's a bit annoying, but I think if you've got him, you'd play him for the double. Surely, there must be another thing you can do other than burn a transfer, right? I don't know what, though, without seeing your team. I mean, that move sounds okay. But I don't know about getting rid of Ake if you're not. Like, I'm only going to get rid of Ake if I'm going to get Mahrez next week. Asking for a friend who has a bad overall rank of 1.2 million is on an early wildcard. Oh no, not Game Week 22 wildcards. But for Game Week 22, needs to bench one of Kane, Mitoma, or Nketiah. Oh my god, you can't bench I give up. Why have you got these good squads? Why don't you just have a rubbish bench like me? Honestly, look at my team. Ake, Spurs away, easy bench. Greenwood doesn't even play. Patterson is injured. That's the kind of decisions you need. I think out of those, I would bench Nketiah. I just don't... I know it's Man City, but I just can't ever see myself benching Harry Kane, especially when it's at home. And Mitoma's got a better fixture than Nketiah, and it's at home. So I think I would bench Nketiah, but I would absolutely hate it. Bench Reece James or Rico Lewis. I finally figured out Super Chat. Keep sending money without answering the question. Well, thank you. The thing is, Reece James, if he doesn't start, has got a high likelihood of coming on. So I think... But if he starts, Fulham at home is pretty good. I think he'll come on, though. He will come on, I think. He'll get minutes, because they need to build up his minutes. I mean, Rico Lewis isn't guaranteed to start either, although I think he probably will. I think you probably start Rico Lewis, because I just don't think you can guarantee Reece James starts, and he'll probably come on for a cameo. But I mean, Rico Lewis could start and lose his clean sheet. I don't know, I guess if there's a chance that Rico Lewis also doesn't make 60 minutes, you could start Reece James. I feel like Rico Lewis is probably the better option, but it's a tough one, really. I don't know, there is a chance that Reece James will get to 60 minutes, but yeah, he could come off before as well. You're not fancying Mitrovic and Gnonto? Not really, if I'm honest. I think my moves are a little bit tricky because I don't quite know what doubles are definitely going to happen. So, to give you an example, right? If I did Greenwood to Gnonto, which I'm not completely against, I could do Ake to Mings, Greenwood to Gnonto. That is a move that I'm considering. But I don't think then down the line I want to replace Gnonto, so I'd probably want to keep a 5-man midfield, and I don't think that's great around the blank. Whereas if I just hold Greenwood for now, and I like Mitrovic because he's got Nottingham Forest next week, he plays in 25, I think he's okay to hold, to be honest. And Liverpool do end up doubling in 25, which isn't a guarantee, but it's a possibility. Then I think pivoting Fernandes to Darwin Núñez would probably be my move, but who knows if Darwin Núñez is even going to be an option, because Jota's back soon, Firmino will be back soon, Gakpo's obviously there as well. So I'm just kind of trying to leave my options open as to who to go for. But I think for now I'm going to avoid Gnonto. I feel like Game Week 25 is tricky. Getting rid of Fernandes for something. Maybe Mahrez is the answer. Maybe Ake to... Oh my god. Maybe Ake to Mings, Greenwood to Gnonto, and then Fernandes to Mahrez next week, which is the first thing I considered this week. Maybe that's the move. You're making me think now. I don't know. I saw something on Twitter earlier. I can't remember who said it. That Klopp mentioned that they got less control with Darwin Núñez. And I was like, oh my god, does that mean his minutes are going to be bad? I mean, if once all the players are back, maybe his minutes are going to be bad anyway. That sounds odd. I got the one thing that's like kind of struck me today is that there is. I have said this on videos, but I've kind of not thought about it for my own team. That having Fernandes for Game Week 23 and 24 is perfectly fine because it's Leeds away and Leicester at home. So I kind of want to keep him, but the problem is if I keep him, I need the money to make other moves. So at that point, I'm just doing stuff like Patterson to Mings and Shaw to Eshapina, and that's about it. Anyway, again, I don't know what I'm talking so much about my team. It's boring. Oh, that was in relation to the do I not fancy Gnonto. I do a little bit, yeah. I'm gonna be gutted when Gnonto scores against Forest because I've been talking about him for a few weeks. I'm not saying that I was the first one, but because I definitely wasn't. But I had him on the watch list last week, I think, for Game Week 21. And he was in my thoughts for this week, if I wanted to stick to 3-5-2. I just don't know if I do. I think like Leon Bailey might be a better option if there's a good forward to go for. Why is your picture blurred? No idea. You should probably change the resolution. I probably would use my triple captain. I just realised that. I've just realised the banner just says hello. Make sure to like and subscribe. I would probably right, that'll do for now. I've been watching for years, love the channel. Leaning towards saving the triple captain for Haaland. Do we have any idea what city's doubles will be in Game Week 30? So I think they will have potentially 2 more doubles because they'll probably blank in 28 and 32 because of the FA Cup. But it's not a guarantee. I guess the one thing to say, there's actually no guarantee that Man City will definitely have another double gamer, right? They could potentially get knocked out of the FA Cup. And that's very unlikely because they're playing Bristol City. But it is possible. But the thing is, even if they have a double in Game Week 29 and 34, you might want to use free hit, wildcard, or bench boost in both of those weeks. So that is the problem with saving the triple captain. And their fixtures would be... oh my God, I'm going to work this out really badly. But let's say they get through to the FA Cup, they would have West Ham at home and Brighton away to rearrange, and then that would go in 29. So it'd be Liverpool at home plus one of those 2 fixtures. Cleverer people than me might know which way around it would go, but Liverpool at home, West Ham at home, or Liverpool at home, Brighton away, or in Game Week 34, which you can't see on screen, it's Fulham away. So it'd be Fulham away, West Ham at home, or Fulham away, Brighton away. So, I mean, the Fulham West Ham, I guess, is a bit better, but you might want to use another chip. And that's kind of what I've been trying to say all week. That's the main problem with saving it. That's why I would use it this week or next. Unless you've not got those other chips, I suppose. I think Enzo will probably start. Apparently, he's been registered. So, yeah, I think he probably will. Ake or Akanji, and would you do Martinelli to Saka? I don't mind Martinelli and Saka if you've got the free transfers. Ake or Akanji, I think short term Akanji's better while Stones is out, and he's apparently out for 3 to 4 weeks. Longer term, maybe Ake is better, but I think for now I would just play what's in front of us, and I would probably go for Akanji. Maybe I'm pessimistic as an Ake owner because deep down I want to sell him, but that's probably what I'd do. Why Mings? Because Aston Villa playing 25 against Everton away and 28 against Bournemouth at home, and that is basically the only reason. I don't need him, I just bench him. Seb, how's it going? Martial to Nketiah to allow De Bruyne or Salah to Bruno. 2 free transfers. Yes, I would do that. Now, who'd you sell, De Bruyne or Salah? Now, that's a tough question. I guess you got to go Salah because De Bruyne's got a dub. But then what... Excuse me. I don't know. Maybe you do De Bruyne and then get him back. But to save a transfer, you've got to go Salah, aren't you? Putting you on a lie detector. Would you sell Salah if you got your triple captain back? Yeah, of course I would. Don't know who I'd sell him for, but I would sell him, yeah. Start Sharp and Newcastle or Mitrovic. Mitrovic, I think. Although Newcastle defence is great. But I think I'd start the attacker. Mount to Anthony or punt on Mudryk. Probably just keep Mason Mount, to be honest. I think I'd rather take a punt on Anthony. I feel like it's a punt on Anthony or a punt on Anthony, I think. Or it's Mitro to Nketiah straight swap and no Bruno. I think you get Bruno, to be honest. Especially if you can then get Salah and... I don't know. If you can keep one of Salah or De Bruyne. I think you do that way, I think. I want Bruno. Should I sell Salah or De Bruyne? I think you sell Salah, right? Because De Bruyne's got a double next week. Yeah, I think you will want... I think anyone that's selling Salah will probably want him back despite what you think right now. Just because of them playing in game week 25 and you'll have the money and they might double. But I think between Salah and De Bruyne, it's probably got to be Salah to save yourself a transfer over the next couple of weeks. But I guess if you're going to get Salah back eventually, it's going to be an extra transfer anyway. Yeah, honestly, I find it difficult to talk about Salah because as soon as I mention the fact that people might want to bring him back, people are just like, oh, you're crazy, why would you want him, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you now, they get a double, all the questions are going to be, should I buy Salah? Should I buy Salah? How do I get Salah in? Even though they are rubbish right now. Absolutely rubbish. Oh, honestly, right, it's not an obsession. I'm literally talking about what's going on in front of us. And I've literally just said sell Salah. I've literally just said to sell Salah instead of De Bruyne. Liverpool going to get a pen soon, surely. Mo better fixtures over De Bruyne this week. Yeah, I know. You're going to want De Bruyne next week, aren't you? So you're setting yourself up for another transfer. I mean, absolutely. Liverpool and Arsenal are surely due some penalties, but you can't predict it. Daniel has a go. Member for 1 month. Thank you very much. Again, I need to ask, Tony out for Nketiah in for -4. I think maybe it's better to go with that move next game week. Yeah, I think so too, because Tony's got Southampton at home. So, like, Nketiah is great for the long term. Arsenal players are great for the long term. People will be taking hits to do things like Kane to Nketiah and then some midfielder to Bruno. That's perfectly fine. But yours is just a straight swap for a single game week player to a single game week player. And Tony's fine. So, I think he's got Southampton at home, right? Yeah, so I would probably just keep Ivan Toney for this week and do it next week. And look, if you get to next week and you've got other moves to make and you've got to take the -4, so be it. But that's what I would do. Murphy's Law dictates that Arsenal will get a bunch of penalties now and Jorginho will take them. I just don't know if he's going to be on the pitch that much, to be honest. Enzo's FPL price is a joke. I don't think so. Like, he's not that attacking, is he? Like, as in the position he's going to play for Chelsea, is he not going to be quite deep? I mean, maybe 5 million's a little bit cheap, but then again, let me look at his numbers. I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't watched Benfica that much, but I mean, yeah, the numbers, they're okay. I mean, they're probably pretty good for a £5 million player, but I don't know if he's worth that much more, to be honest, as an FPL option. His actual price is the real joke. Yeah, well, that is a ridiculous amount of money. But look, Man United have spent ridiculous amounts of money, so let's hope it works out for Chelsea. Or let's hope it actually doesn't, but you know what I mean. Who's buying Enzo Fernandez when Andreas is 4.5? Andreas is 4.6, isn't he? Who's buying Andreas when you can buy Leon Bailey? Doesn't blank in 25 or 28. Better underlying numbers. Although I guess not quite as nailed. If you're on a wildcard, what would your midfield choice be? I mean, it's hard for me to answer that because I haven't thought about wildcard whatsoever. But I think I guess it's not that hard. Rashford, Fernandez, at least one Arsenal midfielder, which would be Saka probably or Odegaard, and then depending on what your front line is, I would get another Arsenal midfielder. If not a second Arsenal midfielder, I guess De Bruyne ready for next week, or Salah and then sell him to De Bruyne. But I'd probably just start with De Bruyne. Look at Buendia for points. Yeah, but Buendia's not 4.5 million. Who you can bench most weeks. Start Wilson or Ben Mee? Wilson, for sure. Is De Bruyne and Andreas to Bruno and Matoma too wrong or doable? I mean, it's definitely doable. But obviously in game week 25, Mitoma's going to blank, so just make sure that works in your plans. There's no harm with getting Mitoma. I've looked at it myself, but you just got to consider that. Man City's double game weeks are now all dependent on FA Cup results. So if they get through the 5th round, they're playing Bristol City, they'll have at least one more double game week. If they get through the quarterfinals to the semi-final, they get another double game week again. So Man City, I think Man City's maximum doubles they can get now is 2. But obviously the minimum is 0, right? They could get 0 doubles as well, but it's unlikely, right? Because they'd have to lose to Bristol City in the FA Cup, which probably isn't going to happen. Sorry, Bristol City fans. It's away though, isn't it? I think is it Man City away to Bristol City? Am I going 3-4-3 this week? No. It's a shame that I've got a bench Greenwood with a double game week, you know. Have Cancelo but not sure who to replace for. Don't have Shaw but was thinking of a Villa defender. Game in 25 and 28. I would go for Shaw because of the double. Am I still confident of top 50k? I don't know. I guess let's see how the next couple of weeks go with the doubles and stuff. I guess I'm not going to make up a huge amount of ground because I'm going to captain Rashford like everyone else. I'm going to captain Harden like everyone else. And to be honest, with the triple captains this week and next week, I'm probably going to want my captain to blank. So it's going to be a bit rubbish, but let's see. I'm not tempted to play Greenwood over Mitrovic. Very unlikely that he starts or gets any good minutes. I mean, if you look at Greenwood's minutes recently, it's probably not going to show you, is it? No. 3, 13, 12, 0. That's the last 4 games. So I'm not going to start him, unfortunately. I wish he was an option. Mount Martial to Bruno and Nketiah, or Mitrovic to Nketiah. I like the Mount Martial move. Would you be bringing in Nketiah for Kane, considering Jesus can be back soon, or leaving Kane and bringing the third Arsenal into midfield? Yeah, if you can, I would hold Kane and get an Arsenal midfielder instead. Akanji short term, maybe Ake longer term. Jack, start White or Botman. So Everton away. I'd probably start Botman, I think. I really want Saka and can't get him without selling Ake unless I sell Shaw or Mitrovic. Yeah, that's tough. I guess if you really want him, you've got to sell one of those players. I guess I'd sell Ake, I think. Even with the double, I think. Just because Mitrovic is more reliable. And like, there's every chance that Ake misses one of the next 4 to 5. So, and you're going to bench him this week anyway. Should I remove Wilson or Mitrovic for Fernandes? Probably Wilson. Like, he's got a better fixture this week, but he's not going to play in 25. And Mitrovic's fixtures are right after this. I'm literally the last person to get rid of Salah. Yeah, quite possibly. But to be fair, right, everyone else that's getting rid of Salah this week is getting Bruno. And I've already got him, so I don't need to do it. Like, if I didn't have Bruno Fernandes and I had a free Man United spot and Salah was the only way to get it, then I would do it. But I don't need to do it, so I'm not really worried about it. Andreas to Odegaard or Mitrovic to Nketiah. If going for Odegaard, I can switch Salah in 20. I can switch to Salah in 25 if Paul double. Otherwise, Nketiah to Darwin same week. Now you're going to want to keep hold of Nketiah of your Arsenal players. So Andreas to Odegaard sounds better to me, I think. I've March, Mahrez, Martinelli, Odegaard, Rashford in midfield, and Haaland, Kane, Tony. Which mid to sell for Bruno and who to bench? Well, I mean, you can't. You've got to sell March, right? Because Mahrez has got a double next week. Soda, Marte, and Odegaard, and Rashford's got one this week. So I think it kind of chooses itself, right? It's got to be March, even though he's got good fixtures. Who to bench? Like this week, Mahrez probably. I guess then you could say, well, should I? Yeah, that's probably the way I would do it. Wanted to swap Martinelli to Odegaard, but when? Whenever you got a spare transfer, if you really want to do it. I could do that this week. I could do that this week. I'm a little bit worried that I'm going to make a very luxury transfer and then one of my Arsenal players ain't going to start. But at least I could fix them next week, potentially. Had you activated your triple captain for this round, would you be worried about Eriksen's injury negatively impacting Man United's attack and play? Not enough to not use it, honestly. I think that's worth considering, but I think it's almost like looking for excuses not to use it. Like, yes, Eriksen being out is not good, but I don't think Man United fall apart without him. And it's still 2 very good fixtures at home. So if you had the triple captain active, the Eriksen thing wouldn't make me change it, honestly. Cancelo to Martinez or start... Cancelo to Martinez or start James? Cancelo to Martinez is probably okay. I'd probably get Varane if you can afford it, though. Or De Bruyne to Bruno. Oh, okay. Well, I would do both, probably. I'd probably do Cancelo to Martinez and De Bruyne to Bruno, I think. Almiron to Saka for -4, but then I'd have to bench one of Kane, Yonto, Mahrez, or Odegaard. Is that worth it, or do I just do Fernandes to Saka in 23? Why can't you just do Almiron to Saka for free in Game Week 23? If you can do it this week for -4, why not do it next week for free? Unless I'm missing something. But yeah, I'd probably not do it this week. Salah to Bruno, blank Game Week 25 is putting me off. I would do Salah to Bruno if it's your only route to him. You can work, like, there is extra points to be gained right now. Like, Salah, yes, you know, in a normal season, Salah against Wolves away, maybe he could match Fernandes with 2 home fixtures, but not right now. So I would probably do it. Transfer out Salah and Walker for Mahrez and Akanji. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know about that this week though. You're basically like Salah is better than Walker, Mahrez, and Akanji this week. You would imagine, and like really, you want Mahrez and Akanji next week. So is there like a different move you can make and then do that next week? I guess if that's your only route because you've got nothing else to do, then sure. Play Reece or Mitrovic. Probably Mitrovic unless we get word that James is starting, in which case you could definitely start him. De Bruyne and Almiron to Fernandes and Mahrez and Rashford triple captain. Yeah, sounds great to me. If that's the way to fund Fernandes. No, actually, hang on a second. Do you need to do Almiron to Mahrez this week? You could just do De Bruyne to Fernandes and then do the other move next week if you still want to do it. Edison Doherty for Kepa James. Doherty, very unlucky. Game 23, Che Adams for Martial. Che Adams is like the 5th highest scoring forward. It's ridiculous. Game 25, provided no injury. Shaw for Perisic to clear Man United players. Already 3 else. I mean, Kepa and James is okay, but James might not start this week. Che Adams, I don't know if that's the best option for Martial, but I guess if there's no one else, sure. And Shaw for Perisic, I don't know about that either, but this week's okay. I guess with the Che Adams and Perisic picks, just wait till close to time, see if something else creeps up or turns up that you could do instead. Salah will probably miss a penalty, probably. That would be just my luck at the moment. I mean, he might do because he's been so freaking long since he's taken one in the league. Botman or March could also bench White for them. Yeah, you could bench White for them. There's no way I would be benching March this week. Like, no way I would be benching him. Start Solly March or Mitrovic. Solly March. And by the way, when I say there's no chance, I know I said to sell him to someone else, but that's just because of their team setup. For most people, you should be starting Solly March. You should keep Fernandes and sell Salah. He's killing you. Oh, Darren. Like the stream, guys. Thanks for the great content. Thank you very much for 3 months. Much appreciated. Start Nunez or Mitoma. Imagine that, benching Nunez. Bruno or Rashford triple captain. I'm going for Rashford, but honestly, I think Bruno's fine. If you want to go for him, go for it. But I just think open play at the moment, Rashford is the main goal threat. Other than James, who is top of the watch list in terms of Chelsea players to bring in? Honestly, I don't know if I've really got... I mean, Mount and Mudryk, I guess, and João Felix, possibly. But I wouldn't say they're high at the top of the list, to be honest. Yeah, Kepa. I guess for me, Kepa, yeah. I don't know who's starting for Chelsea. We might find out later on. Bench Odegaard, Kane or March for Fernandes. I guess Odegaard. But it's horrible. 2 decisions I've got to make before the deadline starts. Mitrovic or Bailey. Mitrovic. And start Cucurella or White. I guess Cucurella because of the fixture. But at least you know Ben White's going to start. Cucurella is not guaranteed. I wonder if Scout have got him starting. They do, yeah. They've got Cucurella, Badiashile, Thiago Silva. Do you know what's interesting? This Badiashile guy... Right, Chelsea fans, help me out here. And apologies because I'm definitely pronouncing his name wrong. But this Badiashile guy has started the last 2 games. Now, that might be because of injuries and stuff. But he's been left out of the Champions League squad. Right? Which is interesting because I guess Koulibaly and Thiago Silva will mostly play. Fofana's not back yet. Is Fofana in the squad? Basically, what I'm trying to say is this guy now nailed in the league? Yeah, they don't have enough space. I know, I get it. I guess my point is, does that now make him much better for the Premier League? I think it probably does, right? I don't... Look, you're the Chelsea fans, and I'm not. I don't know if we can say he's 100% nailed right now. I don't know if I would agree, but he does look fairly nailed, doesn't he? Because you can only add 3 new players. They chose Felix, Mudryk, and Enzo. So he's maybe nailed in the Premier League. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to tweet about that. I'm a little bit too much money off getting him this week, unfortunately. He's not my thinking at all, given the fixtures. The fixtures are good. What? They're Fulham at home, West Ham away, Southampton at home, good. Plays in 25, albeit Spurs away. Then it's Leeds at home, good. Leicester away is not bad. Then they definitely play in 28 against Everton at home. And then it's Villa at home. Then it's Wolves away and Brighton at home. Like, for me, that's the definition of good fixtures. I don't know. Maybe he's the one to get. You know, if you need a. I don't want to bring in a Chelsea defender this week though, because I'll be tempted to bench Mitrovic for them, and you just know what happens next, right? Yeah, but that's what I'm discussing. I'm not telling you he is nailed. I'm just saying, could he be nailed? Do, 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 do. I don't know if Reece James is starting. I'm going to assume not, but I don't know. Bench Leeds defender or an Arsenal defender. If you've got a Leeds defender, for whatever reason, I would play him. They've got a double game week. You've got to go for it, right? Would you downgrade Ward to afford Anthony to Saka? Downgrade Ward? What? Like Ward on the bench? Who can you even downgrade him to? I mean, you probably want to keep Ward because he's a playing goalkeeper. Bristol City recreating when we beat Man United. Yeah, but you ain't beating City. Andy, Mudryk, Nketiah, Bruno, Ake in -8. Oof, good luck. Good luck. Have you considered any Nottingham Forest assets? If I'm honest, none. Like zero. Literally zero. Have you ever made a Rage transfer? Maybe back in the day, but I couldn't tell you. Like, not for the last 5+ years, I would say. So maybe never. Triple captain Rashford this week or next week. Triple captain Haaland. I would probably go Rashford, but I don't know. I know when you create content, like you've really got to care. I guess maybe it's because I've already used triple captain, but I really just at this point, I just think that what more information do you need? Like you must have a feeling one way or another. And like I feel like you can't get punished too massively. If you do, it's harsh anyway. So just take your pick. If you don't know by now, when we're 45 minutes from the deadline, just flip a coin. I would go for Rashford, I think, just because of the 2 home fixtures. But Haaland just literally scored a hat-trick last week. There's no reason he couldn't do that against Villa and then go and get 1 goal versus Arsenal. And suddenly he's on 20+ points again. So, I don't know. I guess the recent scoring by Rashford is definitely playing a part in our decisions. Like, if before Christmas or before the World Cup, if I said to you, Haaland's got Villa at home and Arsenal away, and Rashford's got Palace at home and Leeds at home, and you have to choose your triple captain right now, I think most people would put it on Haaland. So it is Rashford's recent form that is changing people's opinion, mine included. But he's also a midfielder, and the fixtures are there, and I just think usually we're going to go for Haaland every single time. I've gone for Haaland, right? In a harder, well, maybe not harder, but not on paper. Maybe it was harder. Yeah, Man United and Spurs. So I think Haaland is brilliant. Like I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. But I guess I would just go for the fixtures. Like I feel like I don't know. You could just go around in circles on this. I'm just going to say Rashford. I don't know what more I can say on it. Really, I really don't. What got you into making content? Well, I wanted to stream games one night and I didn't have the computer for it, so I just started talking about FPL and then it kind of snowballed, really. Yeah, Man United playing better overall, I guess, too. But I feel like there's a lot of talk about Man City not playing as well recently, and maybe that is true. But then Haaland literally just got a hat-trick. So I don't know. I'd probably go Rashford. Like, I think what you need to remember is you can still captain Haaland in 23, or if you triple captain Haaland, you can still captain Rashford. You're just missing out on one score from either player. That's it. That is it. So if Rashford gets if Rashford gets 10 and Haaland gets 20, you're 10 points down. It's not the end of the world. It's just not. You should think about these decisions for sure. Of course, I've been thinking about whether or not to do freaking Patterson to Mings for hours. But at some point, you've just got to make the decision and just live with it, basically. It's worth noting with the content creation thing. I was already on a podcast at the time, but I just decided to do something solo, really. How did you get into playing FPL? Were you always good at it? I'm not sure I've ever been good at it. How did I get into playing it? Oh, basically, some mates that the mates I went to school with, I don't really talk to that much anymore. We're starting a league, and I was like, sure, I'll join, and I'll definitely beat you all. And then I searched for Fantasy Football Scout tips, found Fantasy Football Scout, and then went from there. Here's a nice positive comment, just to get you through to the deadline. Just stop overthinking and have fun. None of you are going to be number one overall rank anyway. There you go. There's something to enjoy. I don't want to put a link to my first. I tweeted about my first ever stream the other day. It's awful. Is it better for me to go Mahrez to Bruno and change Bruno to Mahrez, Saka next game week, or Fergie to Martial, Weghorst, and Nketiah next game week? I wouldn't bring in Martial or Weghorst, to be honest. So I guess Mahrez to Bruno. Tony out for Nketiah out for -4. Daniel, I answered that one for you already. I wouldn't do it this week. Bench De Bruyne or Odegaard? De Bruyne. Marseille's going to smash it. I'd love Marseille to score just because so many people have sold him, but we're all going to die at some point anyway, so why bother enjoying life? It's the same energy. Yeah, exactly. It's maybe not quite the same, but I get the point you're trying to make. I remember having to ask a question on stream via Twitter. Yeah, I used to go through people's teams when I first started streaming, and it wasn't long until that just became a nightmare because there was just too many people watching. And I don't mean like thousands. I just mean when it gets like 100 people watching or more, it just gets a bit. I was going to say annoying, but that's definitely wrong. It just unworkable, basically. Right, I need to decide between Alex Moreno or Tyrone Mings. I think that's my decision. I think Alex Moreno is more exciting, but Luca Dean is there. And I know Villa fans think that Alex Moreno is just first choice, and I think that is correct as well, of course, and that they would know more than me. I guess Luca Dean's just always there. He could just start the old game. But Villa, it's not like Villa are in Europe, and I think they're out of all cup competitions anyway. I just want to hear again from you now. I think I'll wait. Yeah, Daniel, I think you're fine with Tony. I know I keep saying things like triple Arsenal is non-negotiable, and that is true, but that only really applies from next week. Lots of people are going to get to triple Arsenal this week, but they've got different players that they're going for. You've got Tony at home to Southampton. He's just as good as Nketiah away to Everton, in my opinion, just for this 1 week. Is it really worth worrying about the fine margins and decision when there is so much inherent uncertainty? Honestly, I think you should just all stop watching, just flip a coin, make your decision, and just realise you're never going to be number one. There you go. Yeah, alright, now we're getting a bit silly. Start Ake over Mitrovic. I'm definitely going to start Mitrovic over Ake. Is it worth a -8 to bring in Fernandes, Kane, and Kepa for Salah, Wilson, and Ederson? Salah and Wilson out for Fernandes and Kane sounds okay. I wouldn't be doing Ederson to Kepa as part of a -8. Like, Kepa's better this week, but he's not better next week. You've kind of blocked a City mid transfer with Ederson. Yeah, but I don't really... Yeah, maybe I should have Kepa, but it's done now. I mean, I can easily just remove Ake and still get a City mid in. Yuzian, thank you. Nikhil, curious to hear your thoughts about my team. De Gea, Shaw, Trippier, Shaw, Rashford, Captain, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, Kane, Haaland, Mitrovic, nothing in the bank. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. Rashford, Saka, Odegaard. I guess you haven't got 3 Arsenal, so maybe fix that for next week. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. Yeah. Saka, Odegaard. Yeah. Next week, get a Arsenal defender in or another Arsenal attacker. Job done. Wow, Martinelli is at 417% to go down. That's mental, honestly. I'm really surprised it's that high. 417%. I'm going to have to tweet about that a sec. So my theory is that Martinelli hasn't scored points the last couple of weeks and Odegaard has. So people are using Trossard as an excuse to make the move. But at the same time, I don't think it's necessarily bad. If you've got the luxury, I think it's okay. I really do. I think Odegaard is better going forward. But I don't think you need to go out of your way to sell Martinelli personally. 417%. That's mental. Absolutely mental. I won't lose any more money on him for this drop. So if he can score, that would really help. Triple captain Martinelli. I know you're only joking, right? But there's not been one person that I've seen. Maybe there has. Obviously, there's thousands of comments and tweets and stuff that come in. But I've not seen one person say, could we captain an Arsenal player instead of Haaland in Game Week 23? I've just not seen anybody say that. Lots of conversations between Rashford or Haaland, but not one person has even had the balls to say, could we captain an Arsenal player? Obviously, the answer is no because it's Haaland, but I was surprised no one's at least said it. Do I play chess? I mean, I know the basic rules, but I don't really play it, no. I'm not very good. Mings or Moreno? Oh, Nikhil, great question. I think I'm kind of siding towards Mings because he's cheaper, and let's be real, most of the time you're not going to want to play this Aston Villa defender. Like, the only real times are Game Week 25 because of the blank, Game Week 28 because of the blank, and maybe 26. I know people won't like this, right? But in Game Week 26, Trippier plays Man City away, and I know he scored in the reverse fixture. I think it was a free kick, wasn't it? But he plays Man City away, and Aston Villa play Crystal Palace at home. So you could potentially play your Villa defender instead of Trippier, but we're thinking way too far ahead at this point. I guess if you're going to play them 25, 26, and 28, maybe it's better to get the more exciting player in Moreno. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like Mings is maybe a little bit more nailed just because of Luka Dean. But also, I think Moreno is definitely first choice. And like I keep saying, they haven't got any other fixtures to worry about apart from Premier League. So what would Moreno even be rested for? Apart from maybe during fixture congestion, but. Yeah, there's no obsession with Villa defenders. People are just planning ahead if they've got the spare transfer. Like, nobody needs to go and get a Villa defender this week. That's for sure. Oh, I just knocked the mic out. Let's have a look. If I have, no, you wouldn't have heard that. Mitrovic and Gabriel or Nketiah and James. Right now, I would say Mitrovic and Gabriel. But, yeah, Mitrovic and Gabriel, I think. Why are you holding Salah? Because who do I buy? And before you say De Bruyne, I can't get De Bruyne. Before I go through this for the millionth time. I mean, I could if I sold Ake or Edison. But that would be a bad move this week. Tony to Gnonto for -4. No, I probably wouldn't do that. I mean, I don't know. No, I probably wouldn't do that, I don't think. Already done Salah to Bruno. Should I do Greenwood to Nketiah and bench boost? I probably wouldn't. I don't think most people need to bench boost this week. So I'd probably just leave it. I'd love to know how you split this. I need to bench two of Mahrez, Martinelli, Kane, Tony and Somerville. I mean, Somerville's back in the squad, isn't he? But I don't know. I don't think he's going to start. Whether or not he starts the next game, who knows? So I'd probably bench Somerville and Mahrez out of those. How about doing Edison to Kepa or Melier? Yeah, I could do that, but then if I get the Man City mid, it's got to be for Fernandes, really. And Fernandes has got a good fixture, so I think I just hold for now. And just keep getting punished by not having Kepa. I want to sell Kane for Nketiah, so I'd have 7 million, but I'm happy with the rest of my team. Should I hold the 7 million or remove Mitoma or Martinelli for Bruno? I mean, if you're going to sell Kane for Nketiah, you should probably just get Bruno, yeah. But, I mean, I would only sell Martinelli if you've got another way to get an Arsenal attacker next week. No, Pope's going to blank in 25. That's definitely not happening. We might get early team news, possibly. I haven't seen these so far. Mahrez and Estupiñán or Zinchenko, Gabriel plus Almiron. I mean, this probably Mahrez and Estupiñán, but I'd want the Arsenal players for next week. Dallow's game time will be good as long as he's fit, but he's been out for injury, so I think for the double you've just got to ignore him. Same for Wan-Bissaka. Did I consider playing the wildcard this week? Nope, not for 1 second. I mean, I know sometimes people look at your team and they're like, "What the hell?" But like, you cannot look at my team and think it needs a wildcard, surely, without like joking around, of course. No, Tony's not out as far as I know, unless I missed something. I can double check. No, I think he's fine. I think he's fine. Gnonto or Mitrovic? This week, Gnonto. If I have Greenwood on the bench, should I start him over Almiron? I probably wouldn't. It's just like Greenwood just doesn't get minutes. Simple as that. I'd probably just play Almiron. You've gone aggressive on the Arsenal triple up. Saka, Nketiah and Martinelli. Very nice. The only thing that's putting me off triple Arsenal attack is I just don't know which other defenders I want. But otherwise, I mean, to be honest, I like all combinations. Triple attack, one defender, double attack. 2 defenders, 1 attack could even work in some scenarios if you can get the right attackers in elsewhere. So yeah, I like the triple up on attack. Saka and Nketiah, Martinelli sounds good. If Reece James is in the starting lineup, would you start him over Botman? I probably would have to if I own Reece James, but I would do it knowing there's risks to it because he could come off before 60. If he starts, would I consider him? Probably not, because my only real way to get him is to sell Ake, which I could do and then get Fernandes next week, but I just think it's a bit too much of a risk. It's tempting though, honestly. And also, if I sell Ake for James, then obviously I'd want to start him, which means I've got to bench someone in my lineup. So I could play 4-5-1 and bench Mitrovic. But I just feel like bringing in a player that's just been out for injury that also caused me, what am I trying to say? He did the same thing last time and got injured. When I've got a forward that I then have to bench, you know what's happening, right? Reece James is going off before 60 and Mitrovic is scoring. So I just couldn't take that risk. Do. Would you consider triple captain Rashford? Yes. Yes. A -4. De Bruyne to Bruno, Ake to Mings. Why do you need to do Ake to Mings? I don't get that. Because if you're doing De Bruyne to Bruno, you don't need the money. So I would just do De Bruyne to Bruno and keep Ake, unless I'm missing something. Captain and Arsenal player in 23. Are you Irish? No. But I do love Ireland, though. Great place. I'm not saying that anyone should captain an Arsenal player over Haaland. I'm just surprised that not at least one person has touted it as a potential option, even though it's not a good option. Who is the deadline day signing that you think will be good pick as a cheeky punt? Maybe Pedro Porro. Not this week though. Bench Bailey or bench Wilson? Bailey. Who? Oh, it's Leicester at home, isn't it? I'd probably bench Bailey though. I think Wilson's just an all-round better option. What is the ideal number of double game week players to have this week? I mean, at least 3, I think. 4 would be nice, I guess. I think 5 is too much unless you've got Melier and like a Nyonto or something. But there's no such thing as an ideal number because teams will be set up different. So, like I've got 3. Is it ideal to have Nyonto? I guess it's better than having Mitrovic, but is it better for longer term? I mean, I might regret not getting Nyonto because if there's no forwards I want, I might end up just buying him for 25 anyway, in which case I should just buy him now. But I'm going to just not do it and hope for the best. James or Almiron? Who to bench if James starts? I would play James over Almiron, I think, just because I love Reece James, but only if I knew he was going to start, for sure. People. If we get Chelsea team news, trust me, I will let you know. If I'm not mentioning it, that's because we haven't had it. Kepa, Lewis, Bamford for Edison, Doherty, Martial. Kepa, Lewis, Bamford. I mean, I don't think. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I just don't know if you need to sell Martial for Bamford. Like, you're selling one player. I mean, the problem is I don't know if Martial is back. Sorry, I don't know if he's fit or how fit he is after the Forest game. I feel like Bamford is just asking for trouble, given that he's only just back from injury as well. He did play in the cup, I guess. It's okay for a -4, I would say. I want an Arsenal defender to have Shaw, Trippier, Bueno, James, and Ake. Who do I get rid of, and do I bring them in for a -4 this week? I don't think there's any need for a -4 because you can definitely play Shaw and Trippier, so you just pick one of the others. Who would I sell? Bueno, I guess, out of those. Martinelli and Kane or De Bruyne and Nketiah? Well, De Bruyne and Nketiah next week. I don't want a free hit 25, but I have to. Do you have to, though? Do you have to? Bench White or Botman? White, probably. 2 of Kane, Mudryk, Ake, Martial, James, Zinchenko. What, to play this week? I mean, I guess if you've got Martial, you've probably got to play him. And then you've got to play Kane, right? Would you start Nyonto over Kane this week? I mean, yes, probably because he's got a double. But I would rather bench someone else, I guess. Dalot back in training, confirmed by Ten Hag. He's been out for a little while. Wan-Bissaka's done okay. No guarantee Dalot plays both games in the double. Blanks in 25. I wouldn't go there, personally. Like, of course, if he does start both, then he could do well. But I wouldn't risk it. There's just, with the way Man United and Wan-Bissaka are playing, they just don't need to rush Dalot back. Like, Dalot is definitely the better player than Wan-Bissaka. Like, no matter how Wan-Bissaka's improved, he's not as good as Dalot still. But there's no need to rush it for Palace at home and Leeds at home, so I just wouldn't do that. Start Botman and Mitrovic. I'd probably start the attacker, I think. What's the best Arsenal defender? Gabriel for me. If I could go again, I would definitely have Gabriel. I can't remember why I got White. Could I not afford Gabriel? I can't remember what led me to getting Ben White. Must have been a money thing, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Bench one of White, Duncan, Mitrovic. White. I don't know. The chat is frozen on me. Yeah. My whole computer is like frozen. Why is I might need a new computer. I don't know. I need a technical expert to come and help me with it. It's just lagging so much recently. I feel like it's Microsoft not happy that I've not upgraded to Windows 11 or whatever it is now. Or 12, I don't know. No Aubameyang in Chelsea squad tonight. Well, there's a surprise. Can see a stalemate for Arsenal-Everton. I can't see that, to be honest. Nah, Seedrive's not 4. I actually deleted a load of my FPL videos the other day as well. Get a Mac. I can't be asked to learn Macs, to be honest. Oh, I might need a good clean out, actually. That's not a bad... I might do that this weekend. It's just started doing it. I wonder if it's a RAM issue, but like, is in like one of the RAM sticks is broken. I might test a bit. Is White still nailed or is he a risk now? Look, I guess with Tomiyasu back and stuff like that, then you could say he's a slight risk, maybe, but I don't really see it, to be honest. I think he's fine. And let this moment linger. If your RAM stick is broken, it wouldn't even run. Well, he's got another RAM stick though, right? Is that not how it works? Reapply thermal paste to CPU. I hate doing stuff like that though. Not very good with it. Anyway, Almiron to Matoma for a hit. I probably wouldn't do it for a hit. I think Almiron's likely to start any, so I probably wouldn't do that. Greenwood to Nyonto for -4, then play instead of Mount. I probably wouldn't do that. Long-term Almiron replacement. Depends how much money you've got, right? But like, I mean, Bruno Fernandes, De Bruyne, Rashford, Diego Carlos might be back soon for Mings Konza. Yeah, apparently he's going to be back end of February, beginning of March. So he would be okay for game week 25. Probably. Like, Mings would probably be okay. Most Villa fans seem to think that Konza would be most likely to miss out. Or possibly Konza would move to right back. I'm using an SSD, yeah. But Moreno is surely first choice. Surely he's not going to put Luka Dean back into the side. Oh God, excuse me. Is Game Week 30 a blank? Live FPL says so. Nope. Not as far as I know. I think the only blanks we've got coming up, like the bigger ones, are 25, 28, and 32. And that is it. Mings a much better option for the next few weeks. Why is he a much better option than Moreno? Surely, like Moreno, I was looking at it, right? I was looking at an FB ref. So, come on. Like, his expected goal involvement at Betis is 0.26, 0.18, 0.21, 0.19, 0.21 per 90 minutes. Like, that's pretty good across like 30 odd games most seasons. And even for Villa already, he's at 0.26. Now, obviously, that's a very, 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 very small sample size, but he's just more exciting than Mings. But I guess Mings is maybe safer. Luka Dean is surely done. Hasn't, like, him getting injured or whatever he got the other day, he was injured, wasn't he? Surely that's given the excuse to... That's given the excuse to Emery, forget his name, to play him. Job done. Like, and the fact that Emery has bought, like, Moreno's come in since Emery's there, right? So he's an Emery signing. Surely he's okay. The thing is, like, the only reason it's even a doubt is, like, if this was at the start of the season and for whatever reason I needed a Villa defender, I would just go for Moreno, no questions asked. The only reason it's a slight doubt in my mind is because of the blanks. That is when you need them for. So you don't want to get to the blank and then have to change it. Imagine getting to game week 25 and having to do Moreno to Mings, right? That would be very depressing. So that's the only reason I'm even giving it any thought. If this is game week 1 and Villa have got Fulham at home, followed by Everton at home, followed by Southampton at home, which would never happen, then I would definitely go Moreno. 100%. It's always tricky sometimes when you ask fans and stuff like that, right? Not that obviously they would know the most, but sometimes there's a hint of that's what we want to happen as well. Like no Villa fan, at least the ones that I've seen talking on Twitter or spoken to, want to see Lucas Dean in the team, right? They all want to see Moreno. But whether or not Emery sees it the same for every game, who knows? Would you sell Ake? It depends what the plan is. Like I've thought about doing Ake out and then Fernandes to Mahrez, but I'm probably just going to keep Fernandes for 23-24 and just hope that Mahrez misses a game and makes it worth not having. But we saw what he can do against Spurs. He's great. He's absolutely great. De Bruyne, what are we on? 18 minutes. De Bruyne. Anyway, after all that speech, I still don't know about Moreno versus Mings. Another thing is as well. Imagine like down the line, I need 0.2 minutes. Here's the thing for you, right? If you think I've completely forgotten about Liverpool players, I was, which you definitely don't. I was doing a planner earlier. And one of the moves I had was just seeing. I wasn't planning to do it, but just seeing if I could get to Salah, Trent, and Darwin if they doubled and if that looked like a good move. And I could only do it if I got Mings instead of Moreno. But I don't think that's going to stop me from doing it. Luka Dean and Villa players in general are monumental FPL trolls. Yeah. Maybe, at times. Bailey, I guess, start of the season. De Bruyne and Tony for Bruno and Gnonto for -4. I don't know if you... I mean, if you do Tony to Gnonto for -4, you're basically switching formation, I would say, right? You don't want to play Gnonto every week. So if that's what you're planning on doing, I wouldn't do that. I would just do De Bruyne to Bruno. If it's a switching formation, then yeah, you could do that. I was just looking at all eventualities, all right? I was just seeing if it was possible, and it was, but I would just go for Robertson instead, I think, if that had to be a thing. But right now, they've got no Van Dijk, no Canate, no midfield. They're playing rubbish. I've got no interest in buying Trent. Don't worry. Never say never. Noah, thank you. David Gaffney. Is that? Oh, no, it's Dean Gaffney, wasn't it? Thank you. 2 free transfers. Cancelo to Ake and bench him to play White. Playing 11 would be Kepa, White, Trippier, Shaw, Bruno, Rashford, Marseille, Amram. Okay. Yes, that sounds okay, yeah. If you think Ake's the one. Luka Dean got that shoulder injury literally within 5 minutes of me transferring. There was a few people that week that started transferring it. Like, it's just harsh. Kepa or Sanchez to start. So Fulham at home or Bournemouth at home. I'd start Sanchez, I think. I'd start Sanchez. Brighton defence just as good as Chelsea, if not sometimes slightly better. And it's the better fixture for sure. Play 1, Garnacho, Almiron or Perisic. I mean, if you've got... Perisic has got Man City, Almiron, West Ham. Garnacho isn't going to start either game, but he could come off the bench. I don't know. I feel like because of the other 2 options, I feel like I would just take the punt and play Garnacho and then hope for the best. Is it okay to start Kukurea? Of course it is, yeah. I mean, you should probably start Almiron, but I think with a double, I'd just take the hope that he gets points. The thing is, he's going to come off the bench in both games for like 15 minutes. I'd probably play Almiron. Salah, Andreas to Bruno, Saka -4. Yeah, sounds great. Oh, bench Mitrovic, though. I would... Yeah, I think it's okay. Who to sell for Bruno? Salah and Foden includes Saka in, or Kane and Foden includes any forward. I can't seem to let go of Salah, even with his recent form. Yeah, look, Salah's probably got slightly better fixtures, and he'll play in 25, but so will Kane, so you could just keep hold of Kane. I guess you can go either way, Salah or Kane. Like, if you sounds like you want to keep Salah, so get rid of Kane, I guess. But then which forward you get? That's the problem. If you can't find a good forward that you like, I would just get rid of Salah. Yeah, I might regret not doing Greenwood to Gnonto. The thing is, I know what's going to happen. Mitrovic will blank tonight, so I'll know tonight that I should have made that move, but it is what it is. Who to replace Cancelo with, excluding Arsenal players? Maybe a Man City defender if you want the headache. Maybe Luke Shaw. Start Almiron or Mitrovic. Probably Mitrovic. Shaw or Wan-Bissaka. Like Shaw by a mile. Should my priority be getting rid of Cancelo or bringing in Bruno? Probably bringing in Bruno, to be honest. Even better if you can make the two things work together. I don't even remind me about Mitrovic missing a penalty, because if he misses it and Kepa saves it, I will cry. I will actually just cry. I probably would triple captain Rashford. You're still going to be hand on heart about Salah next season if things keep going this way. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like I said, I'm happy to sell Salah, but I don't like with 5 midfielders. I don't really know who I would get. Like De Bruyne next week, I think I'd rather just get Mahrez for Fernandes. I'm probably just going to stick to Ake and just hope for the best. And I've got to hope that Ake outscores no, I don't even need them to outscore. I need Ake to match De Bruyne or Mahrez. It's probably not going to happen, is it? It's probably not going to happen. Getting dangerously close to server meltdown. There's not going to be the thing is, unless I'm wrong, didn't the server meltdowns only happen because we weren't sure about whether Haaland was going to play or not, so we were worried about captaincy? No one's worried about that, right? Champions League fixtures coming up, putting me off Mahrez. Yeah, I mean, he's fit enough to play all those games, but at some point Bernardo Silva's coming in. Captain Bruno to short sell the triple captainers on Rashford. I've used mine already. You could do it, yeah, but I prefer just going for whoever you think is the best option. But yes, you could go different if you wanted to by going for Bruno. He's not a bad option. We all know you've made your transfer decision. Yeah, it's probably going to be Patterson to a Villa defender. I just don't know which one. I think is I want Moreno, but I feel like Mings is the safer option. And also, I guess the other thing is I'm only going to play them in 2, maybe 3 weeks. At least that would be the plan. So at that point, I'm hoping that in those specific weeks, Moreno gets me an attack and return as well. Is that worth 0.2 million? But bringing in Tyrone Mings 3 weeks before you need him, it's so boring. I just don't see a more exciting move. I just don't see it that I actually want to do. Have I used my triple captain? Yes, I have. I got a lovely 8 points from Haaland. 8 points, man. Doing De Bruyne, Kulusevski to Bruno, Odegaard and keep Ferguson, play Kukurea, or De Bruyne, Kulusevski, Ferguson to Bruno and Ketty and Matoma for a -4 for game week 25. Okay for game week 25 if I sell, sure. I think the second one, just because Ferguson's out. I think I saw something that said he's better than expected, so he's not going to be out for like ages. But yeah, probably the second one for the -4, especially if you can be okay for 25. Would you rather field Mount or Robertson this week? Mount at home to Fulham, I think. Never, no more. Let's see what the group chat think about Moreno versus Mings. And then I'll have to pick one. Mings. Let me hang on. I think deep down I kind of know which one I want to go for, but it's not exciting. You went boring and got Mings. Yeah, boring Tyrone Mings. I'm almost thinking back to those unwritten rules that you used to have about transfers, that if the other player doesn't have massively more attacking potential and you're not going to play them that often, you should just go for the cheaper player. That was almost like a kind of rule that you used to have. In which case, Mings definitely fits the bill more. But I do like if Moreno keeps up the numbers that he had at previous clubs, he might be worth it for 0.2 million. Bench one out of Odegaard, March, Mahrez or Kane. Probably Mahrez out of that. Member for 16 months, Rami. Thank you very much. Muchos appreciated. Ferguson could play this week. I thought he was still out for a little bit, just not as bad as they first thought. Because if that's the case, but surely Welbeck's going to just play. Moreno's a lot more fun, but seems short-sighted. Mings is winning this one. Mings is winning the group chat. Mings is winning on the live chat. Oh, I'm going to have to get Mings now. But much rather White to Gabriel for his 15-point. You might be right. Not doing White to Gabriel might be a mistake. I'm going to have to go for a lie-down after this exciting transfer. As a Villa fan, it's interesting, right? I think general FPL players think Mings, but Villa fans think Moreno. It's interesting. One free transfer: Martial to Nyonto, Tony to Nketiah, Almiron to Bruno -8, or De Bruyne to Bruno and Martial to Nketiah -4. I think I prefer the -4 in isolation out of those two. Don't think you need to take the -8. Can always downgrade Moreno to Mings if team is otherwise well set up. Yeah, but it's just not the kind of move you want to make, is it? Like, you just don't want to do that. The whole point of getting one of them now is to not have to do it later. So when people are looking to possibly bring in one of them, like, you're kind of one transfer ahead. So De Zerbi said late fitness test, so likely to be on the bench. Okay, fair enough. Are we really in a world where your free transfer this week is Patterson to Mings? I know, but like, I am just, unless you think that Ake to Mahrez is like a must-do transfer, which to be fair, I'm not against. I could do Ake to Mings and then get Mahrez for Fernandes next week. But unless you think that is an absolutely essential move, like, I am a bit stuck this week. Anyone that triple captained Bruno? Good luck to you. I've had no Chelsea information. The only person that might have it is that Sam C345. Yeah, there you go. He's just started a space, which I can't listen to because I'm doing this. But he's about to give away some Chelsea team news, I think. So if you want to know who started, he usually does the players that are important for FPL. So, yeah. Keeper transfer. Lots of people are doing Meslier. I don't really get it. Like, I do get it for some people. Like, I saw a couple of people that I follow are doing it for Leno. That makes a bit more sense. But I don't see why I would get Meslier unless I'm missing something. It's like Sam underscore C345. He's doing a Twitter space right now. I could listen to it actually because you can't hear it. Hang on, I can literally listen to it now. Wait, is he playing? Has he got like? Has he got hold music or something? Or is? Hang on. It's like playing music. Is he just playing music? Maybe he is. Oh, okay, he's got hold music for his space. Wow, that is high tech. There we go. Alright, he's going to announce some news. You drag it out a bit first. He thinks he's going to break FPL servers. I'm not sure why. No one really cares about Chelsea, I guess. Maybe Mudryk and James. James starts, I guess. Yeah, James is starting. Okay. Interesting. I could do Ake to James. Well, I don't want to listen anymore. Let me know if he says Mudryk is starting. I could do Ake to James. I've got the exact money to do it and then get Mahrez next week. I've 500k go for James. Come on. He'll get injured again. Yeah, possibly, but let's see. I'm going to get Reece James soon, I think. But probably not until I sell Fernandes. That's the only issue. Although if I get... Oh, sugar, I've got to make a transfer. I've got to make a transfer. Let me just... How do I... Yeah, I don't think I can get Reece James until I sell Fernandes, which might not be until game week 25. That's not necessarily a great week to buy him, is it? I don't know about Kukurea. Thing is, if I get Reece James, I've got to bench Mitrovic. That just doesn't sound great. And then I've got to get Mahrez next week. Yeah, the thing is, if I don't get rid of Ake, I can't get rid of Fernandes next week. Then again, I could do Fernandes to Mahrez, Ake to James next week. But then why would I not just do Ake to James this week? James linked to Fernandes because I need money. Reece James. I just don't know if I can go there again. I mean, I don't have to get Mahrez next week, but I'm not going to go into a double game for City with just two of their players. Oh, Ake to James. We've only got 2 minutes left. I'm so tempted, but then I've got to bench Mitrovic. I love Reece James. It's on TV. It's on TV as well. I don't think I can do it. The thing is, I haven't given it enough thought. I just don't know what my move would be next week to get... Oh, hang on. Hang on a second. I could sell Luke Shaw back to a Man City defender. I could sell Luke Shaw back to a Man City defender and not get Mahrez if I wanted to. But then who do I get for Fernandes later on? Oh, Enzo starts as well. I've literally got enough money for it. But to bench Mitrovic, it just doesn't feel right. Okay, I'm just gonna do the move. I'm gonna regret this. I can tell I'm gonna regret this. Oh, I'm tempted just to do it, honestly. He's not gonna make 60 minutes. I'm gonna burn a transfer in it because I'm not gonna be able to get this through. I should have got Reece James probably. I should have got Reece James. Boring. Now Mitrovic should play. Maybe I should have got James. Ake to James. I should have given that more thought before because there was a chance we were going to get early team news. I don't know about Kukurea. I'm not listening to the space. Yeah, Ake to James, and I could have just done Luke Shaw to a Kanji or Ake, or got Mahrez in. Of course I'm going to regret it. It's Reece James, man. Yeah, Salah to De Bruyne could work. I need Mitrovic to score now. I need Mitrovic to score so badly. So badly. I don't even want to watch it tonight now, because as soon as Reece James scores, I'm in tears. I'm in tears. We're locked in, by the way. If you enjoyed that stream, make sure to give it a like. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm not worried about covering clean sheets or anything like that. What's my word per minute? No idea. No idea. I should. I feel like I should have just gone for James. I feel like I love Reece James. The main problem is right now I don't have a transfer for next week. Not one that I really like anyway. So I've got like, even if I wanted to Reece James next week, I don't have a way to get him. I just don't have a way to get him now. Without getting rid of Fernandez. So I think it was better to just got him this week for Ake and then got the... Yeah, I don't know. It's done now. It's done. James is going to punish you just because you didn't go for it. Boring streams don't get likes. Well, you know what it is. It is what it is. Right, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy it, give it a like. Hit that subscribe button. I'm off. Good luck this week. Hopefully Rashford's not too far over 200% effective ownership. I'm going to go and have a lie down after that exciting transfer. Why are you always panicking? Who's panicking? Well, I talked about that move the whole time. The only panic really was Reece James. And because we got that last minute, not last week. I think he'll get to 6. The thing is, last time he came back, did he get injured in the first game or was it the second game? Thing is, I just think that Enzo Fernandez being in is going to make Chelsea just so much better. I hope he gets a 1-pointer. Right. Oh, he got injured in the first game. Okay, fair enough. I thought it was the second game. Anyway, first game after 58 minutes. All right, I trust you. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you again on Sunday. So enjoy your weekend. And I will see you soon. Oh.